Now, as a little preamble here, before I get into my handyman zone, ladies, you know that I target these videos because you may or may not know my opinion of modern day man. You know, the guys that don't want to get their hand, you know, your husband who doesn't want to get his hands dirty and stuff.
Oh my
So
God!
when I make these videos, I'm really making it because I know you're the one who bails, you ladies and you women, you wives are the ones who bail the house out of trouble. So if the toilet's clogged or the sink is slow, that husband of yours is just going to break stuff. You know it. I know it. So you're the one who does it while he's wearing a stupid logo shirt, a grown man watching, you know, some sports team and rah, rah, rah. You know, like, what is that going to accomplish? Okay, so that's my little rant. Let's get into the handyman zone. Well, basically what I'm trying to say is I'm breaking down this video into the easiest possible steps so that you beautiful women, you beautiful wives, can once again, bail your house out of trouble. Instead of calling an expensive plumber to do a stupid 2-minute thing, you can take care of it yourself. So let's break it down. Hey YouTube, it's Dino in the handyman zone. We're talking today, and I'm going to show you quickly. These are shutoff valves. You're going to find a shutoff valve anywhere from under a sink, under a toilet, under a kitchen sink, bathroom sink. It would be like for hot and cold water, and it would be like a little valve like this, little shutoff valve. We've all seen them a million times. But it could be something like this, for a hose bib or on a boiler, or if you could imagine in a pipe in a ceiling, a length of pipe with a shutoff valve. It could be 3/4 inch pipe. It could be a big, like 2 or 3 inch pipe in a fire sprinkler system in a building or something like that. Basically talking many different styles and types of valves. You're going to find this, and the issue we're dealing with is when they drip water right behind the knob, when they drip water out of
Oh
the
my
shaft there. Okay, and on these little shutoff valves, again, I just have the knob off for demonstration purposes, but it would be leaking right there. Drip, drip, drip. And the whole theory behind these, and you've heard me talk about it a million times on my videos, is that you never use the, you use them every 4 or 5 years when you got to replace a washer, so they hardly ever get used. So when you do use them, they tend to drip. And I've always told you in every one of my hundreds of videos on these replacing washers and fixing toilets, I always remind you to double check when you're done that it's not dripping. Because the worst thing to do is you get all your tools out, you fix the toilet, you put everything away, and later on that night, your wife's like, there's a puddle under the toilet. You know, it looks like you didn't fix it right, even though you did. The valve had nothing to do with the toilet. You just had to show up fix the toilet. Now there's a puddle. You look like a fool. So, always telling you to double check. So now I'm just taking a minute here to like detail, but I'm also expounding on it and telling you that almost every shutoff valve you're going to encounter is going to have a packing in it. It's going to have a packing nut that you can tighten up. And you're walking through your basement one day and you see a little puddle on the floor and you look up, and there in the ceiling is a pipe with a shutoff valve, and it's dripping from the knob. And you're like, WTF, what the fucking internet talk. And you think it's a big deal. You got pipes leaking, call a plumber and everything else. But I'm going to show you how to take care of that. Watch this quick little video, and then I'm going to come back and detail exactly what's inside these valves, how they work, and how to address the issue. This, my friends, is exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you about these leaky shutoff valves. You never use them, so then when you do use them, sometimes they tend to dribble. So what we're going to do is tighten up the packing nut, which is this nut right behind the handle. This nut. Okay, so check it out. I'm just going to snug it up.
let me get this out of the way so you guys could see. So this is the handle. This is the packing nut. And what we're going to do, because this has an antique finish on it, we don't want to just put a pair of pliers on it or something, so I'm going to use this adjustable wrench that has smooth jaws on it. It's not going to scratch. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. We go clockwise and just give it like a, let me see if I can get a better angle to show you exactly how far I'm going to turn it. How's that? Okay, if you can see that, I'm going to give it like a quarter turn. See? The dripping stopped. That's how you address a leaking, basically any valve, hose valve, hose bib for the garden hose, a valve on your boiler downstairs, any kind of shutoff valve in the pipes, or under sink or under toilet shutoff valve. When they leak in there, you give them a quarter turn, eighth of a turn, quarter turn on the packing nut. Snugs it right up. Even big, huge 2-inch shutoff valves for like whatever, for the whole house. Tighten up that packing nut.
So let's break it down. You just saw that quick little video how I just tightened up that valve. And keep in mind, that could be any valve, from those little shutoff valves under the sink to a hose, garden hose outside, to a valve up in the ceiling, to your boiler in your furnace, to your main valve coming into the house, to a huge 3-inch steam fit valve on a 10-story apartment building. Could be any valve. They all have the same basic theory behind them. It's called packing. And I'm going to show you real quick what that is. So for demonstration purposes, we took this handle off. Now you have the valve stem, and here's that packing nut that I'm talking about. So let's say we take the wrench and we take the packing nut off. This is the packing nut. Well, actually, I took the whole shaft off. Okay, so this is the packing nut. It's just a nut. In the back there, you'll see the actual quote-unquote packing, which in this particular valve, it's a rubber washer. Now, the whole theory behind it is when you tighten the packing nut, it squishes this washer tightly around the valve shaft, preventing any water from dripping out. So, when you do notice a leak from the shaft, and like I told you, you put a wrench or a pair of pliers on it and you give it a quarter or an eighth of a turn, what you're doing is squishing that rubber washer. It doesn't have to be rubber, but you're squishing that washer around the valve shaft, and the leak just miraculously stops. So here, that's how the washer goes on the shaft. Then the packing nut. So when you tighten it, you're just squishing that washer. And then behind the packing nut, the packing washer, the actual packing, which in this case is a washer, there's a brass friction washer just to keep the other side compacted. And then there's the actual threaded shaft. And on this side is the washer that actually seals it when you shut it off. That if you had to change the quote-unquote washer because it wouldn't shut off, it was still dripping, that's what you would say. But never mind that. We're just talking about the packing. So I've explained to you what happens when you tighten up the packing valve. So let's just put this back together. And you saw in that little video, all I did, it was basically the same valve as this, except in a different color. This one's chrome. That was like an antique finish. And basically what I did is I took this same exact wrench that you see here, I used in the video, and I put it around the packing nut. And you saw me. I gave it a quarter turn, and the leak stopped. The same would go for a valve in the ceiling or on your broiler or your hose or your heating system or the main shutoff for the house. Although the handle may be different size and color and the valve may be straight or 90 degrees or whatever, it's still going to have a packing nut, and behind it is still going to be packing, which could be the rubber washer that I just showed you or similar, or it could be different kind of packing. I'm going to show you this. This is actually, they sell packing, and the reason I'm showing you this is like string. It's Teflon, and it's a bunch of smaller Teflon threads wrapped up into what you see here. And I'm going to see if I can actually split it open a little bit just to show you guys. I'm taking my knife here and I'm just cutting it. If I could show you inside, because a lot of times, here we go. Okay, so I'm just like taking the covering off, which is basically Teflon, which you'll see plumbers wrapping around a pipe before they screw it, like Teflon tape they call it. And then, so it's like Teflon tape wrapped around Teflon tape wrapped around Teflon tape. The reason I'm showing you this, and this is a little more advanced, but still may come in handy for some of you. Let's say you tighten up the packing nut like I've told you, and you gave it that half a turn or that quarter turn, and it's still dripping. You can take some of this, what they call packing. Okay, packing string is Teflon, and what you can do is make some. So let's say that black rubber packing washer, it's 15, 20 years old. It's dried out. No matter how much you tighten this, it's not squishing that to spread it out. You can take some of this stuff and wrap it around the shaft, put the packing nut back on, and tighten it up, and it's going to stop your leak. You're making your own packing. You're adding some packing to the packing to give it that squish. And although this is thick stuff, you can split it and open it up and take out some individual pieces and wrap it around. Hell, in a pinch, you could even use Teflon tape in the Teflon tape roll and just wrap it around the shaft, put that nut back on, tighten it up. Now I'm going to show you some other packing they sell, but it's graphite packing string. So I'm going to put these gloves on because it's graphite and it's very messy. But while I'm putting these gloves on, let me tell you a little story. I used to have this girlfriend, Lisa, way back in the day. She had this little game she would play. She put, these are latex gloves. They're black, but they're just like those hospital gloves. She would put these on, and she'd put them on me, and she'd put them on herself. And the reason I'm saying it is because every time I hear that noise, it just brings back these wonderful memories of Lisa. Oh, she was so good looking, tall and thin, and an athletic body and long blonde hair. Beautiful blue eyes. They were just magnetic. And she would put these on and she would snap them. And she would get the lube out, the water-based KY. And she would, oh man, the things she would do with that lube and the rubber gloves. That I'm telling you, you women, if you want to add some excitement to your life, I mean, besides calling me up and getting me over, put the rubber gloves on and get the lube out and take care of your husband. In an event that doesn't work, you can always call me. But anyway, so this is graphite pack, and it's very messy, and that's what I'm telling you. It's just basically string. As you can see, it's string. See that? And it's black because it's covered with powdered graphite. And again, you could cut off strings of this, or if the valve is big enough, you could use it in the full size. And let's say that packing nut trick doesn't work and you've tied it up a half a quarter turn and it's still leaking, you can take a couple of strands of this, 3 or 4 inches long, couple of strands, wrap it around the shaft, just like we did with this white stuff here. Wrap it around the shaft, put the packing nut back on, tighten up. It's going to take care of anything. You're making your own packing, basically. And again, some of these valves are extremely important. Let's say it's the main shutoff valve coming into your house. I mean, for that stupid packing, and I just showed you a whole bunch of tricks to take care of that. The plumbers aren't going to do this stuff. They're going to tell you you need a new valve because they want to make the $1,000 to $1,500. They have to go out to the street and dig up your lawn, and this is all money for them. They don't care about doing that kind of work. They got to dig 6 feet down to the valve in the street. They got to shut that off in order to open up the valve inside the house, in order to cut the pipe, to put a new valve in, solder it, go back out, fill in the hole. Then you need the landscaper because now you got a big hole in your lawn. Do the packing. Some of these valves are very important, and a little trick like this packing can take care of it easily. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. Any valve, if you shut any valve off, provided the washer is good and it's got a good seal, now that it's off, and I'm going to go to this for demonstrations now, now that the valve is off, you can indeed take that packing nut off. You can actually take the packing out, and you can actually take that little brass washer out. And as long as that shaft is still off and that washer is sealed, it's not going to drip a drop out of there. Do you understand? So you can actually service this whole valve and put a whole new packing in without shutting off the water supply, provided the washer's good. I'm a paid YouTube partner. This is my gig. Besides my handyman thing, I'm making money off these videos. I'm a partner with YouTube. Or if I helped you out anyway, all the interaction you can do right now with YouTube as far as rating this video with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, as far as using the comment box, those little things really help me out. Like knocks me up in the search engine, it brings outside website search engines, it brings it to their attention. Subscribing is like the big bonus thing. So if I helped you out, I mean, subscribing to me, for you, it's nothing. It just adds my channel to that whole list of channels you got over there. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. One hand washes the other. I helped you, you helped me.